Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 18-Minute Experts, the podcast that dives into the minds of industry leaders in the wonderful world of group benefits. I'm your host, Michael Kettner, and today we're diving into the topic that can make a huge impact for your clients and prospects alike, while adding more value to your practice. That's right, we're talking about group retirement solutions. Joining me today is none other than Kevin Sorhaitz, National Vice President of Retirement at People Corporation, a seasoned expert with over 30 years of experience in the group retirement world. Kevin has not only consulted for some name brand firms in Canada, but has led teams in managing group retirement solutions. He is here to share his insights, success stories, and tips that you can put into action right away. But before we jump into this conversation, just a quick reminder to our listeners, if you enjoy this content, please subscribe on your preferred podcast platform so that you will be notified and receive all upcoming episodes. You can catch us at www.peoplecorporation.com/18min experts. If you are feeling ultra generous, please take a moment to leave us a review. Your feedback guides us as we endeavor to provide the best benefits-focused content. So grab your coffee, buckle up, settle in, and get ready for another episode of 18-Minute Experts that just might change the way you approach your client conversations. Kevin, welcome to the show. Let's dive in. I have to say that when I saw this topic on our podcast planning schedule, I knew that there was only one person I wanted to interview, and it was you, Kevin. Not only have we had some tremendous conversations in the past, but your professionalism and knowledge are unparalleled. I would love for you to introduce yourself to our wider advisor audience. Why don't you share a little bit about who you are and your past experience?
Yes, Michael, thanks for having me. Lots of kind words there. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been 30 years in the group retirement savings industry since finishing up an actuarial science degree at Western University. The past 3 years have been here at People Corporation, working closely with group retirement solutions. And before that, I spent most of my time in the actuarial pension consulting industry at firms like Watson Wyatt, which is now Willis Towers Watson, the Siegel Company, where I actually became an actuary, and Morneau Chappelle, which is now TELUS Health. And outside of work, I'm an avid runner and golfer, and running's been a great avenue for me to get out and travel to neat places like Paris, London, and most recently, Australia.
Just based on that description, Kevin, you sound like one of the rare people in our industry that got into group retirement by design. You actually went to school for it, studying actuarial science, whereas most people in the industry join by a twist of an arm or by sheer accident. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about the decision process that went into that?
Yeah, I don't know how methodical it was. I think I fell into it as well. Didn't really know what to do coming out of high school, so went to Western general first year. And with a lot of interest, I guess, and proficiency in math and statistics, played lacrosse with an individual that was a year ahead of me in the actuarial science program, and just seemed like the natural fit given my strengths and not really knowing where else to ply my trade at the time.
It's funny how those little life events, those people that cross your path really impact. My grandpa was always a big fan of saying, it's the people you meet and the books you read that guide your life. And it sounds like it was the people on your side of things.
Yeah, and to your point, I'm pretty sure the individual that referred me in is no longer in the industry.
That's sometimes the way it is. But even just sticking with my grandpa's quote, are there any influential books that you would say, this book, it was really impactful for me? And this could be just a bit of a warm-up question for us.
Yeah, given today's topic, over the break, I just reread The Psychology of Money, Timeless Lessons on Wealth, Greed, and Happiness by Morgan Housel. It's a quick read. I think it's one of those foundational books, financial literacy type books. And in this case, it really just teaches us to have a better relationship with money and how our past experiences can work for and against us when it comes to saving and investing. I've recommended it to a lot of different people, and only good feedback.
Yeah, it's funny how money can be such a taboo topic sometimes, like, oh, don't ask people about money. And yet it's probably one of the more important things to manage and just to have a good future. So going to our topic of group retirement, I have to say, and I'll just provide a little bit of context. I had my own practice doing group benefits in Ontario, and I was group benefits focused. That's what I did. That's what I enjoyed doing. And I always shied away from group retirement. And part of the reason for that was I felt like I had no control over the markets. Like if the markets tanked, I was ultimately held responsible and I would have no control over that. So I just wanted to shy away from it, but yet did a little bit of it because clients twisted my arm and said, no, you need to do this for us. And so, okay, I'll do it. But I guess my question for you would be, for any advisor that was maybe in my mode of thinking, what advice would you have given me to take a look at group retirement and include it in more of my conversations?
Yeah, well, it's interesting what you just talked about there, Michael, because it goes back to what I was referencing on the book, The Psychology of Money, right? Our past experiences can color how we behave going forwardly. I think the opportunity is a good retirement savings program can help clients attract and retain top talent. I think that's well documented. And I think, a lot of group benefits consultants, their area of expertise is the group benefits, just like any subject matter expert. And so going into other areas usually is going to be a little uncomfortable and we tend to shy away. So I think my advice would be to team up with a group retirement savings specialist and, let them help guide and navigate some of the, analysis benefits of a client either working with you on the group retirement savings plan or adding one to their benefits program. And I just think that's going to give you the comfort and experience till you get to the point where you're comfortable, if you decide to go it alone and start speaking to the topic yourself.
No, just on that, I liked what you said about partnering up with a bit of a mentor. And Kevin, you strike me as a mentor. Like, do you have any success stories or stories from your career where either you guided someone along the path and helped them become group retirement experts, or where maybe someone led you?
I think there's a lot of examples in both sides, people helping me and me being fortunate enough to help some others. I think the best example I can give you and the audience is, time and time again over the last few years, whenever a group benefits consultant teams up with a GRS consultant, we just see that the outcome is a win for the client in terms of a better plan, service, what tools and technology the members get, and even the fees. And at the end of the day, the group benefits consultant comes out with a win because their client's happy and they've got the plans usually harmonized and optimized. So yeah, there's lots of good examples. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us that as we gain a little bit more experience and have a little bit more years in the industry, that we share that knowledge and pass it on.
What are the biggest challenges for getting started in group retirement?
Yeah, we talked about the discomfort. I think if we're setting up a new plan for a client, obviously they're going to need to find the budget and get the buy-in internally. But I think, again, if we're looking at things holistically, maybe finding some savings with a group benefits renewal, we can help use some of that savings to start financing a retirement savings program.
Fair enough. Now, as I was looking at group retirement and getting more serious about implementing those types of plans, I always found it was a bit of a Me Too industry. And what I mean by that is it's sort of like real estate. Like I figure real estate brokers are all roughly the same. Like they all take photos, they all post your house to MLS, they all have a drone that flies over above and takes photos, does the whole thing, right? And I don't see a lot of difference. And I sort of always had that perspective of group retirement. What makes a great group retirement advisor versus an average one? Because they're all selling roughly the same product. MERs are part of the conversation and they're all roughly standardized. Everybody follows CAP guidelines. Like, what separates a great group retirement advisor?
Clients ask that all the time. And I think, Aside from the basics of what just makes a good advisor and consultant around being proactive and keeping your promises, I think it really gets into truly being an expert, staying up to date, knowing what solutions are out there, what the current trends are. And then to your point, like the real separation, if fund lineups and investments are similar and fees are similar, I think it has to do with the advisor really being unbiased and providing their own analysis and recommendations outside of what the carriers are reporting.
You had mentioned something important in there. A great advisor keeps up on trends. And so I want to follow that thread a little further and a little bit deeper. What have been the big trends over 2024? We're in January 2025. What were the big trends last year?
Yeah, so 2024, we did a lot of streamlining fund lineups. So, a lot of fund lineups or a lot of funds being offered. There's a lot of duplication. There's too much choice, overwhelming plan members. So keeping the amount of offerings slim, 12 to 15 funds in total, looking at whether or not you're still in target risk funds versus target date funds. I know that's some specialized topics there, but a lot of work was done in that area and a lot of questions asked by clients, and there'll probably be a little bit of spillover till 2025 as well. Second trend in 2024 was a lot of questions by clients. What other tax-sheltered investments or offerings can we provide our plan members? So a lot of discussion around the group tax-free savings account, as well as the newer first home savings account. And then 2024 saw a lot more of banks and fintech entering the space and engaging clients and prospects. And so that was interesting and a little different from what we'd seen in recent years past.
Is there a big threat to the common advisor from banks and fintech?
Not yet, but I think they're coming.
What would that potentially look like? What's your perspective on that?
I just think it means more competition for all the providers, and possibly, we've heard a bit about robo-advisors and seen a little traction in that area. But does that, if the fees can get even more competitive, does that become an even bigger trend and an area of focus that people go to going forward?
And what would you say are the trends going into 2025? What should advisors be aware of? What should they be looking at? What advice should they be providing this year?
Yeah, in September, the Canadian Association of Pension Supervisory Authorities, CAPSA, we like to use our acronyms, they updated their guidelines for capital accumulation plans after 20 years. And so we're expecting that to have a big impact in 2025, especially around governance policy work, as well as education for plan members, especially at mid-career and approaching retirement. And then a third area or trend is retiree tools to help individuals coming to retirement to unwind their assets and convert that into a lifetime stream of income or variable type income. The often used term is decumulation. And that's been an area of interest for years, but we think, especially with this updated CAPSA guideline, that it's going to take on even more importance going forward.
Going a little bit off script, what would you say, like if you were to give one piece of advice to an advisor that is getting into this, what advice would you give?
Just truly try to help the client understand what they're trying to accomplish and be yourself. I think this is an industry of relationship building, like a lot of things, but also patience. And so I think, be true to yourself, do the best you can by your client and be patient. And I think you'll be well rewarded in the long run.
So Kevin, I know at the heart of every advisor practice, advisors are interested in supporting their clients. They want to help them and their businesses. They want to help them and their employees. What evidence is out there for advisors to latch on to so that they can feel good about promoting these solutions to their organization clients? Is there anything out there that you would recommend taking a look at?
Yeah, interestingly, earlier this year, People Corporation partnered with the Angus Reid Group and surveyed about 1,500 retirees and found that a good employer-sponsored retirement savings program does, significantly increase the standard of living and provides greater financial security for those employees, compared to individuals, saving on their own and creating their own savings program, or I guess using their own personal RRSPs. So there is data out there, and this survey and report can be referred to for that evidence.
Have you had any client experiences where when you put in a group retirement solution, whether it's pension or RSP or whatever, where you got that or delivered that wow experience for the client, where they came back and were just hugely thankful at the results, at the response? Any stories along those lines?
Usually the biggest impact is employee satisfaction surveys when something like that gets implemented. And when it gets implemented well and it's working, the employees really do appreciate it, and HR gets that feedback. So, that's a tough one, Michael. Usually it's the harmonization, things like that because then there's the convenience and the one-stop shop that usually is kind of triggering the biggest reaction from clients. And usually when they're happiest is when whatever has been decided upon was implemented well and it went smoothly. And it was a good experience for their employees. That's usually when we get the most positive feedback, appreciation for a project. Seldom are good ideas recognized. It's more about the execution once a decision has been made to move forward.
Kevin, I appreciate you spending some of your time with me today. The dialogue has been extremely informative, and I hope that it's been valuable to you as well.
Yeah, it was fun experience. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Kevin.
Okay, take care.
And there you have it, folks. Another episode of 18-Minute Experts in the books. Remember, the insights shared here are just a small part of the mission to provide Canadian group benefit advisors with top-notch content so that they can provide amazing independent advice to their clients and prospects and communities. To stay up to date on future episodes, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube or your favorite podcast provider. When it comes to navigating the complexities of group benefits, knowledge is power. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay empowered. Until next time.